In recognition of our 75th anniversary, we're hosting celebrations at Kerr McGee locations worldwide. I'm attending as many celebrations as possible, but unfortunately, I'm not able to be with you today. I do want you to know, however, how much I appreciate your contributions to our company's continuing success. Having the privilege of leading a company that is celebrating its 75th year in this industry has its share of challenges, but because of the men and women of Kerr McGee, it has far more rewards. The pioneers that came before us had an indomitable spirit that was willing to meet any challenge. Now, when asked about Kerr McGee, I respond with, let me tell you about Kerr McGee employees of today. They also embody that can-do spirit, and they appreciate that they will meet the challenges, wherever and whatever they are. Some years ago, I heard the definition of the word impossible. Simply stated, it said, what no one can do until someone does it. Kerr McGee employees don't and won't acknowledge the impossible. You find solutions and you move on, willing to challenge the next frontier. I want to commend you on your pioneering spirit and your loyalty to our company, and I sincerely hope that you enjoy this presentation that commemorates 75 years of achievement by Kerr McGee employees around the world.
Out to Ruthville, right field if you're scoring, and the Smiling Sultan of SWAT completing the circuit.
75 years. A transition point at which events begin to pass beyond the reach of memory. In that span, 3 generations of human beings are born, and the great majority of human endeavors pass into the chronicles of history. One of the relatively rare exceptions to that rule is Kerr McGee, a company which, at this significant waypoint in its history, is thriving beyond the most ambitious dreams of its founders. Robert Kerr and James Anderson put up $50,000 in October 1929 to create Anderson and Kerr Drilling Company. 4 days later, the stock market crashed, sending the nation spiraling into the Great Depression. Nevertheless, Kerr and Anderson's first return on their investment came in 1931, when oil production began with the completion of the Morgan No. 1 well near Kanawha, Oklahoma. Kerr McGee's other namesake, Dean McGee, joined the Oklahoma City-based firm in 1937 as chief geologist. He quickly led the company to the first discovery well on what would become Arkansas's giant Magnolia oil field, and oversaw the company's Curly discovery well in the vital wartime development of Oklahoma's West Edmond field. In 1947, Kerr McGee turned its attention to another bold enterprise, launching the nation's offshore oil and gas industry by drilling the first commercial well out of sight of land in the Gulf of Mexico. The vision and innovation that led the company to drill that first well 11 miles off the Louisiana coast has manifested itself again and again as the search for oil and gas has led the industry into harsher and more remote waters. The company entered the challenging waters of the United Kingdom sector of the North Sea, and today is one of the most active independent operators in this region. Yet nowhere is Kerr McGee's creativity and boldness better illustrated than in its creation and continued domination of the field of floating spar technology for deep water production. Beginning with the 700-foot-long Neptune spar in 1995, the pioneers of Kerr McGee have led the development of every generation of spar technology. The closed-hull Neptune spar design, today referred to as the classic spar, was succeeded by the open truss spar. The truss spar, though substantially shorter and lighter than the classic spar, is more stable and supports a heavier topside. The first of these second-generation spars were engineered and built for Kerr McGee's Nansen and Boomvang fields, located in more than 3,000 feet of water off the coast of Louisiana. They were quickly followed in 2003 by a slightly larger truss spar platform serving the deepwater Gunnison field off the Louisiana coast. The most recent innovation was completed in 2004, Red Hawk, the world's first cell spar with a hull composed of 7 tubes, each 20 feet in diameter. The advantage of the cell spar is that it can be built entirely in local shipyards. The Red Hawk spar provides a highly cost-effective solution to the development of deepwater fields that might otherwise not be economically practical to develop. Our experience in the Gulf and North Sea is being put to use today in the development of fields in China's Bohai Bay. First oil from Kerr McGee's Global Producer 8, a 900-foot-long floating production, storage, and offloading facility, was pumped in July 2004. Operating in 12 states, from Montana to Louisiana, Kerr McGee's onshore oil and gas operations provide 40% of the company's daily production. While the worldwide search for and production of oil and natural gas is the largest component of the company's business, Kerr McGee Chemical is the world's third largest producer of titanium dioxide, or TiO2 pigment. The company's chemical operations provide TiO2 to customers in 100 countries and operates plants on 3 continents. Our Tronox brand of titanium dioxide in forms customized for a broad range of clients is one of the world's top brands of this vital industrial chemical. Titanium dioxide is used in hundreds of products as a white pigment, a durability enhancer, or a means of making clear substances opaque. During 2003, completion of low-cost expansion at Kerr McGee plants increased gross production capacity by 10%. Our regional and multinational customers value Kerr McGee's high-performance Tronox pigments with preferred brightness and durability properties for paint, coatings, and plastics. The company's CR826 universal grade pigment is one of the best performing products in the industry and is produced by Kerr McGee in the United States, Europe, and Australia. Development of additional high-performance grades, product application technologies, and worldwide customer assistance is the focus of the company's technical sales and service laboratories. In the final analysis, what has built Kerr McGee into a worldwide entity with $15 billion in assets is its people. Today, we employ over 4,000 highly qualified, creative, and committed men and women who are shaping the next 75 years of our history. That history includes a strong tradition of service to our communities. Our co-founder, Robert Kerr, was also governor of Oklahoma and served 3 terms in the U.S. Senate. His commitment to community support continues to this day through the Kerr Foundation. Dean McGee established Kerr McGee's Contribution and Sponsorship Program, which provides leadership for projects to improve the quality of life in the communities in which we operate. Today, Chairman Luke Corbett continues that honored tradition of public service. He served as chairman of the Oklahoma City National Memorial Committee, which guided the design and creation of the memorial constructed in the memory of the 168 people who died in the bombing of the Murrah Federal Building in 1995. Mr. Corbett was also named as the 2004 recipient of the Pinnacle Award for his leadership and contribution to the offshore industry. Kerr McGee's founders could never have imagined that 75 years later, their shoestring company would be a world-spanning, diversified energy and chemical enterprise. Innovation, vision, energy, and public service will continue to be the hallmarks of Kerr McGee as we advance into a new millennium where the challenges are likely to be every bit as great as those we met in our first 3/4 of a century. We face those challenges with even greater confidence than those who came before us, because we have the advantage of having seen the very remarkable things that 3 generations of Kerr McGee people can do.